What the fuck? I turned you off, son of a bitch. I don't know if you can hear that car. Hi y'all, this is Jace, she, they, and you found Jace Reads Romance, a community dedicated to empowering women about sex and sexuality through the reading of romance novels. It is a new month, which means it is time for a book haul where I share all the books that I purchased. This haul is for the month of May in 2025, and it was a big haul. I'm not gonna lie. This month, I actually have 6 different categories when it came to the books that I bought. I'll go over those in a second, but first I wanna be really transparent about my stats. For those of you who haven't watched any of the previous hauls, I'm aiming to really focus on diversifying the books on my shelves. And the diversity goals that I have for my reading are the same ones that I'm aiming for in my purchasing. It's been a bit of a challenge, I'm embarrassed to say, and I'm still working on it. So in the month of May, I bought 61 books. However, 5 of them are doubles. I'll get to why in a bit, which takes the number of books down to 56. 56 different books got purchased. Of those 56 books, 14 of them were by authors of color, which means only 25%. So I did not hit my goal for diversity in authors of color. And for queer stories, it was 11 books, 19.6%, which technically rounds up to 20, my diversity goal, but I'm still holding myself accountable because I've missed it by a lot in past months, so I didn't hit it in either month. Now, a big portion of that was me purchasing series from authors at one specific book conference that I went to this month, and I'm going to be really transparent about that. It was a big investment in my bookshelves, and it wasn't necessarily by the most diverse authors that I could find. That's where we are. For my categories, I have the repeats of trophies, book series or authors that I'm continuing to purchase, new to me authors, and special editions. This month, I also want to add in special events, as well as Wild and Windy, a book conference that I went to in the month of May. The reason for that is those 2 categories contributed not only a lot of books, but quite a few doubles. I was really fortunate to be able to see so many authors that I pre-ordered from my local indie bookstore or other sources, and then go to events that these authors were attending. When I pre-order a book, I know how impactful that can be to an author. And so I'm really reticent to cancel a pre-order, even if I know I'm going to be getting that book at a different author event. There were 2 books that I bought last month and then got different copies of this month because of this crossover between pre-ordering and events. So you'll see 2 repeats on this video from April. I'm not sure how I feel about this long term, but for now, I'm gonna let the doubles happen because I love getting to see these authors in events, and I love supporting my independent bookstores and supporting these authors by pre-ordering their books. It really is one of the most impactful things that you can do, especially for queer stories and authors of color, because it shows the publishers that these are stories people want to hear, that they were going to read, they were going to invest their dollars into. That's the soapbox for right now. The first category is trophies. These are books that I typically read already in a different medium. This might be an ARC, an ebook, or a library book, and I want to add them to my shelves. The first book is The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. This is a book that I read from the library when it came out because they come out in hardcover and I don't want to. I enjoyed this book a lot, but I have to say her most recent book made me like her writing a lot less. Next is All Superheroes Need PR by Elizabeth Stevens. I got to read an ARC of this book. I also got to listen to an ARC or an advanced listening copy of the audiobook, and I was able to interview Elizabeth Stevens for the podcast. So if you haven't already, check out that video. I put it here. It's also available in podcast form wherever you listen to podcasts, where we talk about this book, Dark City Omega, and so much more. I loved this book. First double is Not Safe for Work by Nisha J. Tooley. Yes, I have 2. One from my indie author and one from an independent bookstore that she did a pre-order campaign from. Is it the exact same book? Yes, it is. Did I get the extra one because there is some Not Safe for Work artwork? Yes, I did. I will not be showing that to you. This is another book that I read as an ARC. I love Nisha J. Tooley. I loved her Artifacts of Oronos series, and this book is incredible. All Superheroes Need PR and this book were two of my 5-star reads from the month of March. Y'all need to go read this book. Next, Kiss Me Maybe by Gabriela Gomez. Honestly, this was an ARC that I read that felt like the book was right for someone, but I wasn't necessarily that person. However, I want to support Gabriela Gomez. I read her first book. This is her second. She's got a third book in this librarian series. It is a Latina FMC who is an asexual lesbian, and I love that we're getting stories like that here from traditional publishers. And so I wanted to use my dollars to tell the publishers that, yeah, I support these stories and these authors getting the opportunities that you give them. Our first April repeat is the copy I got from a pre-order of my best friend's honeymoon. You saw that last month. I got the book that was part of that video from the event I went to with Meryl Wilsner, but my pre-order came 8 days after its release date. Honestly, I really don't love ordering books online. I much prefer from my indie bookstore because I know that I can get them in my hands on release date, and so many online retailers don't ship them to you until the release date. So you're getting them days later. The longest I've had to wait was 12 days past release before my book got to me. But I loved this book, and I'm happy to have 2 copies. This is another trophy and event. Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. I read an ARC of this. It was such an incredible book. Hendrix is that girl. Unbelievable. And if you love Kennedy Ryan or you want books that really hit you in the feels, you can't go wrong with the Skyland series. Before I Let Go is absolutely the heaviest of the books, but Hendrix, oh my gosh, that is a woman that I want to celebrate and that I love. And can I say, Maverick, he is not a book boyfriend. He is a book husband. He is a book husband. He is an incredible partner, and we should all be so lucky to find one in our life. Next up is The Charmer by Ava Rani. This is the 3rd book in the Biotech Billionaire series. I also got to read an ARC of this. I read the first 2 books, The Spare and The Heir, and I was waiting for Xander's book. I fell in love with Xander in The Spare. I could not wait to see how his story was going to turn out. This was a very satisfying ending to the trilogy. It is definitely, to me, the most billionaire of this series, which, hey, it might be your thing, it might not be your thing. That is totally fine. But if you are looking to support an Indian American author, each story has at least one MC as a person of color. This is a really great trilogy. The last trophy is Silver Elite by Danny Francis. There's a lot of discourse around Danny Francis, and I'm going to say, I hear you. I was given an ARC by Addie, you might remember from a different podcast episode, and I really enjoyed this book. I enjoyed it so much I bought it in hardcover. The pages are so shiny, but I bought it in hardcover and I want to see what happens with this world. It is a romance. There are a lot of things that were predictable, but there were things that were not predictable. I know that there's a lot of discourse around who Danny Francis is, and that is valid, but I also think that maybe we just need to hold our breath, because the answer is we don't know the answer. Oh, I was wrong. There were three books from last month that you're going to see again here. These are all books that I got at various events for authors. The first 2 books I got are by Krista and Becca Ritchie. They have several series that are incredibly long, and I absolutely understand people are diehard for those series. I was not ready to commit to a 9-book series. This series so far has 2 books. So when I went to the event for the release of the 2nd book, I got the 1st book as well. They are adorable. This is Wild and Wrangled. I got this at a launch party event. And my launch party event, I mean, I signed up to go to a launch party, wasn't able to because I wasn't actually in town. Came with a signed book plate. Now I have 2 copies. This is Enchantra. I was never going to be able to go to the author event because I was literally out of town and I knew that. I wanted to support both the store that was hosting the event as well as the author. So now I have 2 copies. Speaking of 2 copies, yep, Kennedy Ryan, Ivarani, we're both here. And those tickets came with books that are signed. So 2 copies of them We listen and we don't judge, friends. Gold Coast Dilemma by Nana Malone. I actually was able to read an arc of this before it came out, but I was also going to the event with her. She is a goddess. Truly one of the most ethereal people. She is a delight. She is stunning. This book was so well done. Y'all need to go read this book and you will see a little bit more of her later in this video. 32 Days in May by Betty Carello. I have Summertime Punchline, which was her first book. This is her second book. And a friend of mine told her that she was just so much fun that I had to go see her. I haven't read any of her books, but my friend was not wrong. She is a delight. She is a delightful human, and getting to meet her made me want to read these books so much. Her sense of humor is funny, captivating, she's eloquent, and it was just exactly what I needed on a random Tuesday. Trust Your Indie Bookstore. This is The Cat Burglar by Tanima Kazi. I had never heard of this book. I had never heard of this author, but I trust my independent bookstore when they host authors, especially local to Chicago authors, and Tanima is one of those. She was so fun. It's also a very quick read. I feel like I could get through it very fast. I know what the book is from that event. I'd never heard of it before. Tanima was born in Bangladesh, so if you're looking for an author of color to add, especially if you're in the Chicago area, she is local. She is local. Add this one to your TBR. I was supposed to go to this event, and then one of my very good friends had a birthday party, and the birthday party was absolutely worth it. I love Julie Soto. A good friend of mine picked up the book for me. It is YA. It is hardcover. It is a thriller-ish, I think. I'm gonna read her love stuff first. Also, you might be very confused. It's turning into night, and so my studio lights are like changing. I can't decide if I feel more or less pale now that it's nighttime. Okay, these are all books by authors I have already purchased. I'm continuing this series. I have them on my shelves already. Oh man. The first book is What Happens in Amsterdam by Rachel Lynn Solomon. I am obsessed with business or pleasure, and the idea of this book, I believe, is Marriage in Crisis. I was very excited to hear about it. Very quickly, these are I need to keep up with the deluxe editions so they all match. It is The Heartbreaker by Marty Mann, Small Town Swoon by Melanie Harlow, and Pucked Off by Helena Hunting. These are all part of a series. They all have sprayed edges. They all now match the rest of the series that I have that has all sprayed edges. Though I will say Helena Hunting's sprayed edges game is so much better than anyone else's, so sorry. I got Rebel in the Deep by Katie Robert. I really disliked book 2 in this trilogy, like a lot, but I am committed. I want to know what happens. I want to know if this world is the thing that connects all of her other books. So I will read it one day, but not right now. I'm entering my Sierra Simone era. I cannot find the first book in this series. I think I might have to order it online, which I don't love to do, but these are books 2 and 3 in this series, in the Thornchapel series, and they have new covers and they're very pretty and I like them a lot, and I like her. So queer, so kinky. The Queer Principles of Kit Webb by Cat Sebastian. I have another Cat Sebastian book, You Should Be So Lucky, and I just love this cover. I knew that I needed it. That's all. Along Came Amor by Alexis Daria. I have the first 2 books in this trilogy. I really enjoyed the Christmas novella that she wrote for the Amazon short stories. Her style is really fun. But this is a chunker. I was not expecting this chunk because the other 2 books in this series are not as chunky. Ride With Me by Simone Soltani. This is the second book in her F1 series. Cross the Line is the first one. This is just a stunning cover. I think I'm entering a bit of my F1 era. I'm learning too much about hockey with all the hockey romances. I know nothing about F1, so I can suspend my disbelief a lot. I don't think these are in the right order. These are all part of Liz Tumforty's Windy City series. These 2 I was able to buy in anticipation of Wild and Windy, so they got signed at Wild and Windy. This didn't release until after Wild and Windy, so it is not signed, but because I pre-ordered it, I was able to get a vellum overlay that can go in this that is signed by Liz Tumforty. The smallest category is new to me authors. This was handed to me by Addie at the bookseller. She read it. She loved it. Unmasking Love by Erin Marie Bissett. Either she is coming to the store while I'm gone, but she is also going to be at a different conference that I'm going to. And when Addie tells me to read something, I typically do. The Truth According to Ember by Danica Nava. Now, I wasn't planning on reading this book. I find the secret keeping, hidden identity, a very uncomfortable trope for me. But when I found out that her second book, which I have already pre-ordered because the tropes are amazing, wasn't getting picked up by some big book retailers, I said, F that, I'm gonna buy her first book too. And then when I talked to some friends of mine about my apprehensions in reading this book, they said that the hidden identity thing is not a big a deal, as the back of the book would lead me to believe. Now, if you've read this book, please confirm that in the comments. I get really, really uncomfortable with that. The last one is Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. I've heard of Devney Perry mostly as a small town romance author, which is not always my bag. So when I heard this book was happening and it was gonna look like this, I said, you know what, if I were going to try a book of hers, it would be this one. So it's this one. Okay, there is no way I can hold all of the books from Wild and Windy at once. So we're gonna do this in a couple different parts. These were 2 books that I pre-ordered for Wild and Windy from authors in the last chapter. This chunk is Madness by Chantal Tessier. I got the 4 books in the Lord series that were available in her signing editions last year. Madness is now available as a signing edition. It's the special edition. There's no barcode in the back. It's really annoying for keeping track of what I have, but she's chunky and she matches the rest of the series for me. She also comes with Not Safe for Work art, though I'm a little mad because last year's editions did not come with Not Safe for Work art, and I wish I had been able to get Not Safe for Work art for all the other signing editions I have. So Chantal, if you hear this, please send me some Not Safe for Work art. Next is Make Believe Match by Melanie Harlow. You might be confused because there was a continuation book in the previous category. True, that book came out after Wild and Windy. This book came out before Wild and Windy. I pre-ordered it through the last chapter so I could get it signed at the event. These were the other books that I pre-ordered from authors for the event. This was the signing bundle from Kayla Gross. It is Whirlwind, Axes and O's, and Change of Pace. So Whirlwind, Axes and O's, Change of Pace, with special signing covers for some of them. I love Kayla Gross, and when I saw all of the books that she has, I then bought the rest of them. This was a big contribution to my not hitting diversity goals, as I added 5 more books by Kayla, who I love, who writes kinky, plus size, super steamy books, but not all of them are queer. Axes and O's and Puckshy are the only 2 ones of these that are queer. They don't hit any of those other diversity goals. Am I mad about it? No, I love Kayla. I think she's doing amazing things. If you are part of the Substack membership, you got to see some of the incredible Not Safe for Work artwork that came with these books. I can't deny that buying 8 books by a primarily cis-het white author doesn't make an impact on my monthly roundup of purchases. Speaking of, this is the Bergman Brothers series by Chloe Lisa. And this is another big contribution to why my diversity did not hit the way that I thought. I wasn't planning on buying these books until closer to Romance Con because Chloe Lisa is gonna be at Romance Con as well. But I have a lot of books going with me to Romance Con, and all of them were available at the last chapter when I got there. So I just figured I was gonna get them signed now. Also, I have a bunch of mutual friends who rave about these books, and there are quite a few queer stories within this series as well. Not all of them, but there are a few, I think 2 or 3 within this series that are queer. She writes neurodiversity, and I want to support that and her. This is the last group from Wild and Windy. Continuing Sarah Kate series that I have, I bought The Prodigal Son. These are the edition. This is the edition that I bought. It's, I think, technically considered the discreet cover. It's not that I need discretion. It's that I don't want to think about your man chest or face when I'm reading your book. I want to think about whatever I want to imagine. So sometimes I like the more abstract covers instead of the more explicit man covers or model covers or whatever it is. I don't know. But this is a queer story. And then I have 2 special editions. This was a special edition that the last chapter commissioned. It's a completed duology. It's Queen City Chaos, 2 books Before the Chaos and Rival Hearts by Maggie Rodden. And I love a naked hardcover. So I can't get too close, but it's a naked hardcover. It's got beautiful sprayed edges. It's through the last chapter, and Amanda and her team, I love them so much. And I thought, well, why not? This is Nana Malone. It is 2 books, Cheeky Royal, Cheeky King. It is a special edition, 2 books in one, and the book has not safe for work art printed into it. I will not show you. I do not believe YouTube will let me, but if you go to my membership on the Substack, which I will put in the caption, you can see the not safe for work art from this book as well. I love Nana. I love, again, a naked hardcover, sprayed edges, artwork commissioned in it. I am loving these special editions that authors are commissioning themselves. I think it's incredible. Final category, I'm gonna call this actually books bought in a special way. So special editions as well as some things that I participated in. And okay, that sounds really weird. I participated in some charity auctions. I participated in 2 different charity auctions. They are since finished. I did win several bids from those charity auctions. So I will show you the books that I got through those first. The first is an arc of Manic Pixie Dream Earl by Jenny Holiday, which is just cute. I have Earl's Trip, Manic Pixie Dream Earl. So why not? I believe this is already out. Like, this might already be out by the time you watch this. Next is a book by Danielle Allen. I love Danielle Allen, both as a human. She's so wonderful. Curvy Girl Summer was one of my favorite reads of 2025. Plus Size Player comes out June 10th, I believe. So whenever you're watching this, it's already out. Go buy it, go listen to it. The audiobook was phenomenal for Curvy Girl Summer, and I am sure it's going to be just as good for Plus Size Player. But this was a book of hers that I did not have. It is a limited edition book. It is Telltale, inspired by the Edgar Allan Poe poem. And I don't know if I'm scared or excited about this, but I'm excited to see her again and have her sign it. And I didn't even read this. Oh, friends. And this book was part of the Bookworm box, so it's a special edition of hers, and I'm so glad that I got it. This is a copy of The Love Remedy by Elizabeth Everett. It is her newer series. She has a previous series, The Secret Scientists of London. This seems a little bit more magical, but the really special part of this is the hand-painted page edges. They're just stunning. And I have The Lady Scientist of London. I've been debating getting this series, and well, now I have to. Though no other book is going to be as beautiful as these edges. I don't even know if I can show, if you can see them. I'm like looking at my screen to see if you can see them. They are stunning. You're probably wondering, where's my Probably Smut book? It's this one, In Good Company by Kat Singleton. I love a naked hardcover. If you remember nothing from this, pre-order books by diverse authors, queer authors of color, really impacts them. And I love a naked hardcover. So this is just a very plain but classy book cover. It's pink all the way around. There's no sprayed edges. I've been showing you the tabs that come with it to match and the stickers. What I noticed in this box, and yes, it took me until this box to realize it, is the t-shirts they give you if you have the t-shirt box also match. So the t-shirt that came with this was also pink. Do you think I should wear the Probably Smut t-shirt in my book hauls? Let me know in the comments if you think I should wear the Probably Smut t-shirt in all these book hauls. It also gives you something to look at that might be a little bit different. The last 2 books are Bad Women books. Yes, they are. They are the 2 books currently out by Joe Segura, inspired by Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Heart, and Temple of Swoon. And they are the regular editions, but Bad Women, you know, oh God, I hope that these don't go fuzzy for you. Look at these just stunning edges. They are so beautiful, and they are just as beautiful as the covers. These are some of my favorite covers of all time. I think they are gorgeous. Now, the only thing is I bought this duology I do know that there are more books coming out in this, of course. I think it's the Lust Crusade comes out in 2026. So I will be on the hunt for when Bad Women Books has that book as part of their collection. That is everything that I purchased in the month of May. I hope that you don't mind how drastically the light changed throughout this video. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I can ever record at dusk again. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books, what you have on your pre-orders, books that you're looking for in the coming months. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to follow along and see the next video that I do, the podcast episodes that we post, or the What I Reads where I go in depth into the books that I read. Those are probably the most behind, but hey, it happens. And until next time, this is Jace holding space for you.